Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Will Caminada Podcast. This is a quick bite episode where I come here to give you a nudge of inspiration and some food for the soul. This week, I feel inspired to share some insights about the healing journey. So one of the first steps that we take towards our healing journey when we become aware of such thing is we identify our wounds and our traumas so that we know where certain patterns in our life stem from, why certain things keep happening, why your personality is in a certain way, why you keep attracting the same kind of people or the same kind of jobs, why you have certain blocks within your energetic system, all of that. And that is a really good thing because you're becoming aware of the root cause of certain things. But there is another side to this, which is what I want to talk about. Oftentimes, that is the first step, but that can also be a sort of stagnant area, because then we become so identified with that wound and with that trauma that we just stay there because it becomes familiar. It becomes even more familiar. So that story that we keep telling ourselves and telling others, and that wound and that trauma just creates a deeper bond with you, because that's the familiar area. And you don't want to let go of that wound anymore. And then it's almost like you just found a name for that friend. Yeah, or you found a fancy name for that trauma, for that wound. I have abandonment issues. I have XYZ issues or wounds. And then you just identify with it and you just hold on to it for the rest of your life. Sometimes it's the identification with the wound and the trauma that it's harder to let go than the actual event. I hope this is making some sense. And I want to give you 3 steps for you to let go of that. And the first one is to let go. And I know it may sound a little bit oversimplistic to say, just let go. And you might think, it's not that easy to let go because it's my life, it's happened to me. It's something that it's something that has been with you for pretty much your whole life. And the more you live with this identification, the closer the bond and the more you don't want to let go. But it is that simple. So that's the first step is actually stop overthinking whether it's simple, easy, or difficult. The first step is to let go and detach yourself from that wound or from that trauma, from whatever story that you're telling yourself and telling others, because that's comfortable. That's the familiar zone for you. So that's the first step, is to let go and detach. And it's as simple as this. You start telling yourself a different story. And that takes me to the second step, which is you are not a victim of circumstances and external situations and other people's behaviors and actions. So that's the second step. Start telling yourself a different story from the perspective of the protagonist that you are. You're not the victim. You are not the supporting role. You are the protagonist. And at times you might be the victim or the supporting role, but that they don't get that much airtime. Right? You are the protagonist, you are the writer, you are the director, the setting producer, the props manager, the sound engineering, the video editor, everything. So take healing in your hands, take your life and become the protagonist that you are. That takes me to the third step, which is you are not broken. You are whole. You are a perfect divine being of light and love. That's who we are. And when you start, or when you do the healing work and the inner work from that place, you understand that you're not broken. You don't have to be fixed. You don't feel ashamed anymore about your story. Because first, you're owning your story. You're not the victim. And from that perspective, you understand that you're not broken either. And then healing doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be heavy, doesn't have to be so difficult, and doesn't have to linger. Right? Now, fair to say that it's going to be painful, because pain is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's happened before. It might be happening now. It's going to happen in the future. But pain is also the catalyst for growth and for the evolution of consciousness. So I'm not saying it's going to be painless, but it doesn't have to be so heavy. It can be light. Okay? There was something else I wanted to say. Oh yes, that the healing, when you come from that place of I am whole, I am not a victim, I am whole, I have the key, healing becomes not easy or difficult. That's not even the point. It just becomes lighter. And you also understand that the healing journey is not about, funnily enough, it's not about becoming healed. It's more about becoming whole and becoming closer to your true essence. The healing journey is a remembrance to your essence and to who you really, really are, which is light and love. All right, so first step is let go of the story that you've been telling yourself all your life. Detach from that wound and from that trauma. That's not to say it's never happened. That's not even to say that you're never going to talk about it, but you just talk from a different perspective of, number 2, I am the protagonist of my life. So you start telling yourself a different story. You change the script. And number 3 is knowing that you are whole and taking steps in your healing journey from that place. And remember that the healing journey is a remembrance, is a journey into the remembrance of who you truly are, which is light and love. That's it. I hope that this has brought you some insights. And if this has triggered you in any way, I invite you to look within, do a little bit of self-inquiry, and go deep. Look within. I'm sending you so much love. You are loved. You are guided. You are light. You are love. And I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.